Very pleased to be interviewing Michael Gluck, who's founder of VG Market. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me, Charlene.
So let's talk about your background. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I've always wanted to be in the video game industry since I was a little kid. I grew up playing video games. When I went to college, I wanted to prepare myself for a career in video game industry, so I studied marketing and Japanese. I even moved to Japan for a little while to learn Japanese pretty well. And then when I graduated, I moved to California. I got an entry-level job in the video game company, and a few years later I left and I started up my own company providing services to the video game industry. So kind of knew what I wanted to do and wanted to be in games from early childhood and just kind of went that path.
Tell me about VG Market. How does it work in terms of a research company?
Absolutely. So VG Market is the video games industry's leading market research provider. So video game companies that are making new games come to us to get feedback on the quality. The way we do it is we recruit gamers to come in and get their hands on the games that are still in development. So imagine a room with a setup of 15 to 20 computers or PlayStations or Xboxes or mobile phones, whatever the game is, set up, and the gamers come in, they get their hands on it. Let's say they play it for an hour, and they take a survey about their experience, and then they participate in moderated focus group discussion. And we repeat this process until we've run through 100 or 200 gamers to test the game. And then we put together a report for the company that says, this is what people like about the game, these are the areas of improvement, this is where you stand overall. And then the company will go back and make the changes that we recommended, and they'll come back to us with an updated version. We'll recruit a new sample of gamers, test it again, and continue the process until we've perfected the game.
What other types of research do you do?
Well, in addition to video game research, we do research for other areas of media, entertainment, and technology. Telecom companies, hardware companies, even companies that make headphones, or companies that are producing mobile apps that are not gaming apps. So we started off as the video game research company, and then after we tapped out most of the video game industry, we expanded on to other areas of entertainment, media, and technology that were not necessarily in video games.
Specifically, what type of research do you do on these products?
We do usability research to make sure that it's, when you get into the app for the first time, it's easy to understand. That's important whether it's a game or a non-game. Make sure the consumer can get right in and understand what they're doing. We'll also do customer satisfaction type research on non-gaming products. Are customers happy with the product that they're using? What areas of improvement are they looking for in future iterations? And so questions that are relevant to the video game industry are certainly also relevant in large scale to non-gaming companies. We are highly focused on technology. So anything that is technological in nature, whether it's a phone or a non-gaming app or a peripheral that you wear on your head, we are intimately involved and moving every year to becoming more and more involved with these types of products.
How do you recruit for focus groups?
We are one of the only primary research firms that maintains our own list. So the typical process is you hire your research vendor and then they outsource the recruit to another company that specializes in recruiting. We have that integrated within our own company. So we maintain a staff that does the recruiting, get people into the database, and then schedules them for the tests. And to summarize it, it's a 5-step process. So the user signs up in our database, then the customer comes to us and say, we want males 18 to 34 who own a PlayStation and play 3 times a week and have bought one of these games from a list, and we create a screener survey. We blast that out to our database. Users complete the survey, and then we call them one-on-one, that's step 3, the phone call, and we quiz them on what they put in the screener survey and make sure they're telling the truth, make sure they haven't misrepresented their knowledge in the survey. Once we've confirmed that they're truthful, we go on Facebook and LinkedIn and other social media and we check them out, and we make sure that what they told us about their background is consistent with what they've put on their profile. That's the 4th step. And then the 5th step is we invite them to the test, and then in person we have a face-to-face rescreener that we talk to them and make sure that they're still being consistent with their answers. So between those 5 steps, we do a really great job of getting the right person in the room. It's a much better process than just outsourcing to another company that might not be a specialist in the video game industry, because they don't necessarily know how to ask the right questions to detect if the person is really a qualified respondent.